Welcome to Seasons of Her. I am your host, Taneshia Simmons. Seasons of Her is a podcast and a lifestyle created for women, just so we can navigate through life in the different seasons through life, and also knowing that we are not doing it with ourselves. At this moment, we are actively making the podcast, and we're going live on Facebook. So, um, today, our topic is going to be today's episode is going to be over grace over perfection. And with that topic, we are going to be talking about our testimonial and how God took us from lost motherhood, different positions, and He gave us grace throughout everything. So, without further ado, we have a special guest. She's super special to me, and I know you guys are looking forward to hearing her testimony and hearing how God gave her grace and how she found God and got through all of her difficulties, the good and the bad, through it all with grace. So her name is Alexa Pulley. She is a wife, a mother. She's an educator, and she's a leader within her community and within the school districts. So welcome, Alexa.
Thank you, Tanisha. Seasons of Her. Go follow if you haven't already.
Yes, so we are on every platform. So Facebook, unfortunately, we couldn't go live on Facebook because we don't have 100 followers. So please, y'all, please go follow Seasons of Her because I do want to go live every time I have guests on, and so you guys can be able to see it live, and then you also can go listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well as like TikTok, Instagram, and all the things. But in order for me to use actually Seasons of Her Facebook, I need 100 followers. Okay. But we're going to dive right in. Again, today's topic is grace over perfection. All right. So, Alexa, who are you in this current season of life?
I would say in this current season of life, we say all the things all the time. And really, again, you already kind of stated it, I'm a mother, I'm an educator, I'm a wife, and I really just embody those things and embrace them. So
Yeah.
I play a lot of roles.
Yeah. Yes. So when you hear grace over perfections, what does that mean to you?
Grace over perfections means to be patient. To me, it means to be patient with yourself. We'll dive deeper a little bit later, so I won't go too deep. But it just be patient with yourself and take the time that you need to do the things that you need to do. And I haven't always been in this place, and it's taken me a while to get here. So I thank God for that. But yeah, just taking your time and staying the course and being patient with yourself.
Yeah. When I sent over the topic, I was like, this is perfect for you.
And I was like, yes, because starting from the bottom, now I'm here. Okay.
When you say she was a black and white person. There was no gray, no in the middle. It was like, this is what it has to be. So to see her go from that person to who she is now is super. It's exciting, but also, inspirational because you do have people that are black and white and they want it to go exactly how they go. And when you have a hiccup or losses or things don't go the way you want it to go, you think it's the end of the world because that's the way you planned it. So that's why I like this topic is perfect for her. And I know she's going to give us a lot of insight of how she did it. So how was Grace, how has Grace shaped you as a wife, mother, and leader?
Well, I'll just go back to so Tanisha knows again that I can still be black and white about a lot of things, but I had to release that the more roles that I had to embody in my life. So I'm gonna just start off with like being a wife, bringing somebody else into my world and just being a certain way for so long. I just had to be like, okay, it's not all about like how you think and how you think something should be and all the things. It's about somebody else and y'all coming together and making things work. And then as a mother, who blessed it. That's when I was definitely had to make some changes because there's no guidebook
Mm,
to being a mom,
yeah.
or a wife. There's no there. I mean, you got the Bible, but like there's no guidebook about really just saying when this happens, this is what you're supposed to do. When this happens, this is what you're supposed to do, and that's just how I've been programmed. That's just how I've really kind of lived my life, and so again, it's just I just had to be like, everything is not going to go the way that you expect it to go. So sit back and chill.
Yeah.
Sit back and chill and figure it out. And you have people in your corner and in your life that'll help you figure it
Mhm.
out, and you need to allow them to do that.
Yeah.
So that's really what I had to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm an only child, y'all. Like, I mean, I have my parents, and
Sometimes y'all can tell.
I am very much an only child. And so bringing other people in my world and allowing them to help me and guide me through things was big for me, but I've just embraced it and been like, husband, you want to do that? I love you. Cool. This didn't go this way with your kids. Okay, that's cool. We're going to find something else to do, and we're going to figure it out another way.
And you mentioned having people in your circle. We do have the Bible, but we also need to have people in our circle that can tell us when we're right and wrong, and being a listening ear and being there for her. I know I call her all the time, and I'm like, anyway, and then we just guide each other back to where we need to be, and we always are God centered. So even if we're stressed out, something didn't go as planned, we always like kind of lean on each other to remind each other what the words say, and things like that. So make sure you have your circle of people that's going to tell you when you're right and when you're
Yes.
wrong and hold you accountable. But also, bring God back into that conversation, because that is very important.
Absolutely.
That we don't just do things from our own understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did life look like for you in those early years before you really surrendered to God?
Yeah. So I'm just going to just go back, a little bit. And so I was raised in the church, Kojic. My grandparents took me and my cousins to church, grew up in it, knew the word, all the things. Then I got to college, and if you've been to college and lived that life, you know how it is. And so I've always just been a big uh like life of the party type of person. Like I love being around people. And I love just having a good time. And so that was my thing. And I'll just say, like, I was hanging out from like Thursday through Sunday, Thursdays and Fridays, and then Saturday, and then Sunday fun day. Lex did not miss a day normally. So, and it actually got to the point too where, I mean, I balanced that well, but I also balanced my schoolwork well until there came a time, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I was dismissed from the education program. So I had done all like my prior work, and then I had to apply to be in the teacher education program. And then I was dismissed from it because I didn't keep my grades. There was like a class, it only takes one class to not do well in for them to be like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So I was dismissed from the program. I had to write an entire letter to the dean to be like, they were like, okay, you're saying that you should be a part of this program. What are you going to do? So I ended up writing a letter, getting back in. But anyway, long story short, I had a really good time, and I kind of lost some focus. I would say I lost focus and wasn't putting my priority of schoolwork ahead of all the other things. And so I had to just bring it back.
Yeah.
But did you ask about the turning point yet?
Well, you can go ahead and
Okay,
talk
so
about it.
just again, so through all of that, I ended up moving back home, and that was a big turning point for me. So I had done 4 years of school, and then I moved back home with my parents, which thank you, Lord, that my parents allowed me. I 10 out of 10 recommend for any young adult navigating through that. If your parents allow you to move back home, please do it. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity, and everybody's lifestyle is different, but I will 100% allow my children to do it if they want to when they get older. So I thank God for my parents. But that was a turning point for me because it was like the summertime, I remember, and I went back home and I said, okay, Alexa, like you have one class you have left before you graduate. You need to take care of your business. You need to save you some money. And I went on a straight, like, I'm not talking to any guys right now. I am like, I was done, and I had just kind of cut some things out, and then I met my husband.
Yeah. So
yeah.
and when we finally met, that you brought that up to me. You said that you were going through all these things in college and experienced different things.
Yes.
And then when you moved back home, would you say it was like 6 months where
It
you're
was
like,
6
I'm not,
months.
talking to nobody.
Yeah.
And then she met her husband.
Yes.
And a lot of us, some of you guys are going to hear that and be like, okay, it's my time to dismiss everybody, and I'm going to have 6 months. No, because I waited from 2018 to 2024 when I got my husband.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't 6 months, it was some long years. So, but just making sure, like, when you are in that season of when God is going to, first of all, put you in those seasons of when you have nothing to do but to call on Him. So she did that.
Yeah.
She stayed faithful while she was doing it, and continued to stay faithful, and you will get your blessings. Everything that you feel like you deserve, you do deserve it. It's already been written that you deserve it, but we have to do the work to get it.
Absolutely.
But it's okay to go through those hiccups and those things to get there. So that would just be my next question. How did it feel when you finally let go and said yes to Him?
It felt good that I was making some changes, but it was hard. It was very difficult because I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't ask for all of this. I'm just like, in the midst of when you're asking for, the Lord to make changes in your life, things come and you don't expect them to happen, So like, I'll just go back to like some of my college days, so I was 20, I don't remember, 21, 20, 21, 22, I don't know, but I ended up getting pregnant. And I remember calling my parents, and I was so freaked out, and I was like, I have something to tell y'all. And my dad was like, what, And my mom was quiet, and my dad, I was like, I'm pregnant. And they were quiet for a second, and then it was like, well, my dad was like, well, we're just going to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward to that, I ended up having my first miscarriage. What was my first miscarriage? And really, I didn't see it at that time, but as time went past, I'm like, that was 100% a blessing. That was God saying, this is not your time to have a child right now. This situation may not be well, or whatever his reasoning was. That's when I had my first miscarriage. And I actually had another one with my husband, so going through loss and just learning and growing and just.
So how did that affect your faith when you went through your miscarriage?
I'm like, why is this happening to me? First of all, I'm like, why am I even pregnant right now? I mean, why you're pregnant. But I'm like, why is this happening to me? And I'm like, what did I do to deserve to put myself in this situation? Like, what am I doing wrong? So really, it took a lot of maturity to take place within me to be like, okay, this happened because God says it's supposed to happen, and you don't have all of the answers, so you still have some curiosity and things like that, but you just learn and grow from it, and just it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a lot of maturity to go through situations like that.
So that's the next thing. Like, so how did you heal both emotionally and spiritually during that time?
So in school, I just kind of like put it to the wayside. Like, I'm like, okay, this is what occurred. This is what happened. Move on. But when it happened with my husband, it was a whole lot more intimate because, we were married, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yay. Like, we're married, and like now we're pregnant. And then I think it was like 6 weeks later, I had lost a baby. And so just leaning on him, and him not really understanding, but just leaning on him and allowing him to give me the comfort that I needed. And also praying to God and being like, okay.
So leaning on your husband?
Leaning on my husband and leaning on the Lord. It was a combination of both. I really needed that support from him, and he gave me that support. And then steadily talking to God, like, okay, I've had one, now there's two. What is going on? You know, why is this happening and why is this occurring? And sometimes it's so hard to not question God. But when you're young and still growing in your faith and, you know, going through those things, you just have to say, okay, God said it wasn't the time. We just have to move forward with it.
Yeah. So did you ever feel guilty or doubtful during that time? And how did you meet God there?
Oh,
or how did God meet you there?
Yeah, I probably was blaming myself a lot, like something is wrong with me because this keeps happening.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding out why, and ended up, you know, getting some medical attention, and nothing big, just having some conversations with my doctors about what's going on, and they kind of found out. So, and as you know, I have been able to have, you know, those that know me, I've been able to have 2 very successful long pregnancies.
13 hours of...
I was in labor for a long time with both of my kids, but my son was born at 40 weeks and 2 days, and my daughter was born in 41 weeks and 1 day. So, I mean, also the Lord's like, I'm going to make it happen, but it's just going to happen in my time. And going through those situations, I realized, I'm like, oh, this is why, because he's like, you can carry out and have a faithful pregnancy. Like it can happen, but that wasn't the time for you to do it. You weren't in the place to do it at that time. You maybe financially wasn't secure enough.
Right. So going back to that, for the perfection of it all, and we mentioned that she was a black and white person, and you know, you had things mapped out, like I'm gonna meet Mary at this time, I'm gonna have a kid at this time, I'm gonna do this at this time, I'm gonna do this at this time.
Yes.
And that was one of, when I knew her, one of the biggest things where it kind of shifted how she had to do things, because she planned for that first pregnancy before Sean Preston, and that wasn't successful. And then she ended up pregnant with Sean Preston like quickly after that.
Yes.
In that moment of you having your deadlines, your timelines from your personal thing, how did that help you to be the woman that you are today?
That everything doesn't go according to your plan, and you can have A, B, C, D, the colors, the numbers, and everything aligned, but that's just not the way life works.
Yeah.
And those are monumental things that happened in my life that made me realize that. And that's when I had to realize and sit back and be like, it is literally not what you think it's going to be. So just stop doing it and let God work and do what he needs to do in your life. Yeah.
And we're not saying, because me, I was a person that it was like, whatever, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But also I had to speak life over myself. And then I did have to like write out, what do I want? Like pray about certain things that I want. I could give myself a timeline, but I also was just like, if it didn't happen at 26 or whatever, I know that it's going to happen, and you have to be faithful within those moments, and really like lean on him and know that it's going to happen. So although if you're like me, like, I don't know, I'm a type C, type B person, where I kind of just go with the flow, but you still need to speak over your life. So we're not saying don't plan it out, right? You know, don't strive for perfection, but within that perfection, you're going to make mistakes. And that's when you have to lean on God, you know? So people say practice make perfect. You have to be practicing it. You have to practice how to pray. You have to practice how to talk to him daily. You have to practice how to read your word. But you're still going after that goal. So although it didn't happen on her own time, and that moment, that big piece in her life made her be like, it's going to happen. Like, I still need to actively do the things that I need to do, but I have to change my mindset of you know, like, it won't go, okay, I marked off A, I marked off B. Like, it's not going to go automatically to C, because it may go A, B, C, F. And then jump back to C. So we have to understand, with God's grace, we're going to get those things, but it's not going to go in alphabetical order how we're taught in school. It's just going to jump around the place. And
I would say too, you know, like, I grew up in a very structured household, and it was only me. I'm sorry, pardon me. It was only my parents and me, and they didn't have other kids to work their schedules around. It was just me. And so things more times than not happen as planned. And if they
Yeah.
didn't, it ain't much I would know about, because my parents were very much stay in a child's place and adults handle what they need to handle. And I'm that way too. So and then my household is very structured, but there are some things out of my control, and I have to, me and my husband work together to work around each other's schedule. And then we have to work together. Like, we have a son in kindergarten now, and then we have an 18-month-old and a 12-year-old. So like, there are several different schedules that have to be worked around. And sometimes I'm like, I can't make that happen today, but I can make this happen. I can't wash 8 loads of clothes. Would I love to wash 8 loads of clothes and get them washed, folded and put up? Yes, but realistically, am I able to do it?
Because I'm not.
No. And so I have several children to work around, and their schedules matter as well. And so we have a very busy lifestyle. So sometimes that structure that I grew up having is not something that I can have in my house at that moment in time, because it's just a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So just remember that. Like, you can plan it out, pray it out, but we're not telling you. Yeah, we're not telling you that it's not going to happen, but we're telling you that with God it will happen. And without Him, you're going to go through a lot more than you would with them. So you wear many hats as a wife, a bonus mom, a mom, you're two, assistant principal, and a soon-to-be Dr. Pulley. So how does Grace help you balance it all?
Being patient with myself. And I just kind of spoke on this, I can't. So like with my bonus daughter, it might be that she might have 3 games in a week. And I've just recently been able to be like, okay, like I can make a game this week. I ain't going to be able to make all 3, but I'll be able to make a game this week. And I've been present and let her know I'm supporting her and doing all the things. With my son, I was able to take off one day on a field trip, and but there's another event coming up this week, and I'm like, I won't be leaving work, to go and help at this event this time. And then my 18-month-old, she's just a baby. So, there's not much going on with her. She goes to daycare. She has a very strict schedule there. That helps me a lot. But my doctorate program, let me give you all a little bit of a backstory on that. So that's why I really had to show grace with myself, because I had done 2 years so the program is like a 3-year program. And so 2 years of that program is strictly coursework. And I had finished all my coursework, and then I became pregnant with our youngest. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to work full time? How am I going to be pregnant and work on my doctorate at the same time? And it's not just like write a 5-page paper and turn it in. It's like heavy duty work that I would have to be doing. And so I had ended up talking to my advisor. It was hard for me to do this because my pride was in the way. I wanted to just keep going, but mentally I'm like, I'm not going to be able to balance this and still do good. So I said, I have to figure something out. So I ended up contacting my advisor and saying, hey, what are some options that I have regarding the program? Because I need to finish it. I've invested this much. I have the coursework. What do I need to do? And she was like, oh, you can go on pregnancy leave. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know that was a thing. And she was like, yeah, you've done all of your coursework. You can go on pregnancy leave. And then we'll talk closer to you having your daughter or after you have her. And we'll find out when a good spot is for you to join again. So I recently joined again. And then actually I had one more class to do. So I did that one class. And then I had just recently proposed my dissertation and passed. But it's still difficult, and it's still a lot to balance. But I'm like, listen here, Lord, you're just gonna have to ground me, because we have to get this done now. There's no more pregnancy leave. There's no more leave, period. Like, you just got to get this done. So I just really had to say, again, what can I do now? What can wait? And what can I do now? And then you move forward with that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. somebody told me that before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like a do now. I want to do everything
Yeah.
now. And somebody was like, well, you can do a little now.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have things to wait.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
And then that can wait.
Mm-hmm.
That can eventually come.
Yeah.
So we do have to give ourselves grace within that standpoint of having this all to-do list. Like, okay, this is important. And then later I will handle what I will handle.
I'm like that at work too.
Yeah.
I absolutely take care of what I need to take care of. But once I leave, I don't really look at anything work related unless I have to.
So that was the next thing I wanted to get into. How do you lead with grace while managing expectations at work and at home?
Yeah. I'm just big on treating people as they are people. Mm-hmm. And I'm a family first type of girl because I'm just going to tell you, and anybody that knows me knows that if my kids are sick, I will be at home taking care of them. If my parents have something going on that I need to be there for, I will be there. Now, if they say, you're fine, we're good, we don't, need you to be whatever. If my husband needs me doing something, I'm there. I don't miss a lot of work, but I'm a firm believer in treating people as they are people and giving them the grace. And I always tell my people, family first. If you have something that you have to do and it has to do with you taking care of your family, 100% take care of your family, and we will figure it out, because that's where leadership is. I read something a long time ago about are you a boss or you are a leader? And bosses tell you what to do, and leaders lead you in what you should be doing. And so that's my life. I was put in this position for a reason, and I'm going to lead and not be a boss. And I'm going to work alongside my people, but also do what's best for them and make the decisions with my co-partner and just do what I have to do. I'm real big on that. And I would hope that my people would say that. Anybody that, has worked with me would say that. But treat your people like they're people.
Yeah. That means
life is hard.
that do means a lot when you are in a work environment and you have your supervisor is leading the way, is not being the boss, is not, it means a lot. Yeah. So we worked together for only 1 year, and she wasn't my sister-in-law in moments. But it was still easy to come to her professionally and not, personally. So professionally, I'd be like, okay, we have this problem X, Y, Z, and we'll talk it out, and it was handled. But when it was time for her to be like, okay, it's non-negotiable, this is what you have to do, she don't have no problem saying that either. And that's important. And I've learned a lot within this last really year being a counselor, because in your school buildings it's the principals and then the counselors and then everybody else. And I remember one time somebody was like, oh, you're showing them so much grace. I'm like, well, they're people. Yes. At the end of the day, like, they're new, I'm new. You have to, treat them as such, treat them as people, but you still have those expectations, and you still have those non-negotiables of like, this is not going to happen. But at the end of the day, treat people how you want to be treated, to say the least. What role has your faith played in shaping how you love, lead, and parent?
Oh, just you don't need a whole lot of faith, faith of a mustard seed. I have a mustard seed actually from Taneshia at home, and you don't need a lot of it. You just need a little bit of it, and that little bit can push you through so many things, so many situations, but you have to lean on that. And also remember that faith without works is dead. If you're just having faith and not doing what you're supposed to be doing in combination with that, you won't have the expectation, or you won't have what you expect to come from that. So you just need a little bit. And sometimes you just have to say, Lord, I'm really about done, but I trust you, and I know you'll take care of it. So I'm going to allow you to do that, and I'm going to be it.
And that's really big. So when she said she has so what I did is I went to Walmart, because they say mustard seed is really small. It was one day I'm like, I need to see it again. Like, I saw it before, but I needed that reminder to see how really small that mustard seed is. And I put them in a little jar, and I gave them to my family members, my colleague, and my principal at the middle school. And I gave it to everybody, and I was just like, this is a reminder. Put it somewhere that you're going to be able to see it. Because sometimes we actually need to see just that little
Mhm.
mustard seed and see how little
Mhm.
it take, and how that faith is happening.
Mhm.
And just like recently, I've been in situations, and I'm like, oh, okay, it is what it is,
Right.
because I have that faith, that I know is going to work out. Like,
Mhm.
you send that prayer up and you leave it at the door,
Yeah.
and leave it where it's at, because He is going to make it happen.
Absolutely.
But we have to, faith and work go together. Not, no, I'm going to have the faith and not do the work,
Yes.
because you're going to be in the same position.
Mhm.
But we do, I know she do as well. Hope you guys, be able to have that resonate within yourself and realize that it's literally this small. Like,
Mhm.
it look like I have nothing in my hand, but that's how small
Right.
a mustard seed is. So, um, faith and works go together.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So how do you stay grounded when perfectionist tries to creep back in your life? Creep back in your life.
Yeah, it tries to creep. And then I'm like, okay, snap back into reality,
Yeah.
sis. This is your reality, is this.
Mm-hmm.
Being perfect is not, it's not needed, And I think having the pressures, maybe not the pressures, I'm going to say the privilege, having the privilege of having people that look up to you and they tell you and things like that. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if you mess up, you won't be looked at as that
Mm-hmm.
person anymore. But I had to turn it around and say, I'm being real. I'm being someone that they can relate to, because I am something that they can look at. And I'm not saying everything is perfect. I'm saying you will have hiccups along the way, and I can be transparent about that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think transparency is so important,
Yeah.
because anybody that knows me, and knows the real me, knows that I don't mind saying, if you're going to ask me, I don't mind saying it, So really just, I think about my husband and my kids and my family and people at work, and I'm like, they don't need someone perfect. They need someone at peace.
Mm-hmm.
They need someone who can be real and at peace at what decisions they make, at the decisions and things that they do, and they can be real about it. They need somebody at peace, and they need somebody real.
Yeah.
And perfection is just, there's no room for any of that. So it's no need for it.
No. And once you have peace, again, you said peace. Once you have peace, and the peace come within self.
Yes.
Because we have the society around us. Like right now, we have people that's watching, or people that's gonna watch later on. And in our head, if we didn't have peace within ourselves, we would think about, what are they gonna think? How are they gonna act? So I need to make sure my hair is right. I need to make sure this is right. I need to make sure that I'm speaking right. This, my like all of these things will come to you, and you're gonna try to be perfect, and you're gonna go nuts because you are worrying about like what the next person or what society is telling you. And it just go back to making sure you are surrounded within those people, that you don't have to feel like you have to be perfect,
right?
But you need to have it within yourself, and you need to know that God is giving you grace. Well, this is why He's giving us grace. We can make those mistakes, we can do whatever, but have peace within there, and know that God is okay with the way you are, handling life. And that should be the only thing that gives you peace. So don't worry about society. Just worry about what God is saying about you, and do right within Him. Okay, so what scripture or habit helps keep you centered in your faith?
My biggest one is Psalms. Look, I don't want to tell y'all wrong. It's not Psalms. I'm just gonna. It's be still and know that I am God, because that's 100%. That's 100%. Well, be still and know that I am God. That's 100% having grace.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to sit wherever I'm sitting, in my house, work, in the car, and say, be still and let God work. And that's it. And when I'm being still and I'm focused, it's just, you have passed it on,
Yeah. So if you can tell your younger self one thing about grace, what would it be?
If I could tell my younger self, because it's taken me a long time to get where I am and not to really have that perfection, I would say it's okay not to have everything done how you think it's supposed to be done. In fact, everything won't be done in the way that you think it should be done. Mm-hmm. So you need to sit back, relax, lean on your people, and just allow the Lord to work in your life. Yeah. Really, that's just it. It's just, and sometimes when we're young, we are in the world. Mm-hmm. Because I was like halfway in, halfway out. Like I'm in the world and doing worldly things, and then I was, going to church and doing other things too. Just very lukewarm. And am I still? I'm not so much in the world. Like I'm really at home and at church. So just having that grace and just being patient with yourself. Mm-hmm. Things will not work out how you think they should work out, but just know that it is not your time and it's God's time.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to a woman who is waiting for her own breakthrough right
now? Girl, I would just tell you to I read a book before and it was called Girl Wash Your Face.
Oh, and yeah, that was a good book.
Yeah, that was a good book. And it was totally about wash your face, pick up your chin, and just keep working towards it. Is whatever aspirations, whatever goals, whatever, keep your expectations high, your standards high. Do not settle for less. Mm-hmm. I can't stand to see, my fellow girls, I'm a girl's girl, and just settling and just not allowing yourself to have everything that you should have. Mm-hmm. Because we are so worthy, and in order for others to see that, we have to treat ourselves like that. Yeah. And I think a lot of that stems from us having those conversations with each other, having those conversations with our moms and our dads. And because I'll tell you, my mom used to hype me up about everything. Like, ooh, she would be like, girl, orange is your color. And they used to call me smart all the time. They would just say how pretty I am. They would say how elegant I am. And my parents literally spoke life into me. So I hype my kids up anytime that I have that chance. Mm-hmm. Now, for those who have not had that growing up or don't have it now, that's why you find your people and you lean on your girls. And you allow them to do that with you too, because I feel like that plays a part in self-confidence.
Oh yeah.
Like most sometimes definitely. Because people see other things in you that you don't always see. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes other people to tell you that, to be like, you know what? You're right, sis. Mm-hmm. Like I am that girl. Yeah. And you really just have to go through life like that. Like I don't have a mansion. I don't have a brand new 2025. But I have a husband that loves me, and I have kids that love me. I have family that loves me, and I have people that think, all those people think that I'm worthy. And the Lord, and I always say too, favor is not fair. Oh, and I feel like God has a whole lot of favor on my life, and I don't need all the newest things. I don't need all the most expensive things. Matter of fact, this outfit I have on came from Walmart. Y'all need to go get y'all some, because like these jumpsuits they have out now, tea. Mm-hmm. And so I don't have to have all the newest and the fanciest to be that girl. Definitely I'm not educated, and I have it going on within my household.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah. But again, it goes back to yourself. Yeah. You believe in that within yourself. Yeah. And I still have this from like a long time ago, and I went to church and they were like, you are the first person to treat yourself well. Right. Like you treat yourself how you want other people to treat you. Mm-hmm. Like how you treat yourself is how people are going to respond to you. Right. So like personally, like with Alexa, we be like, oh, she is something else. Like we are not one of your little kids at school. And we will say that, but at the end of the day, you still respond in a way of how she treats herself, or you know what I mean. So treat yourself mm-hmm. how you want people to treat you, and how you're gonna respond to things. Yes. So finish this sentence. If it wasn't for grace.
If it wasn't for grace, I would not be where I am today. If there wasn't for grace, there would be no mercy. If there wasn't for grace, there wouldn't be know me and where I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna wrap up our episode. We prayed before we actually went on live, but
Yeah.
I feel it to pray right now.
Yeah.
So let's gather and greet with each other. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for this powerful episode. Thank you for speaking through us, Lord Jesus. Thank you for having Alexa on this platform to share her story. Thank you for giving me this platform to have for the people that is watching, the people that is listening. We want to allow you to what you're doing in our life to do it in their life too. Hopefully, in this episode, that they are going to have grace within themselves,
Yes.
and know that you're going to give them grace, and to have them to be confident in whatever that they would like to do in this world, Lord Jesus, and that they lean on you and not their own understanding, and they
Thank
have
you,
you
Lord.
all in the mix of what they have going on, in their personal life, professional
Yes.
life. And we just want to say thank you again,
Yes.
just for this episode. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So before we wrap this up, I do want to promote my journal. So it is Seasons of Her journal. And within this journal, again, I created this so you guys can write down the
Mhm.
things, the conversations that you have. I am a journal person. I like to write things down. What they say, write it down, make it plain.
Mhm.
I do believe in that. Once I write it down, I know for a fact that it's going to happen in my life.
Mhm.
But you can get these journals on seasonsofherllc.com. So I will drop that down in the comments, so you guys can go purchase. They are $12. And this is the first one, Seasons of Her journal. It is where you have free write, and within every 20, I think 20 or 15 pages, you will have like a little small affirmation to keep you going. So you are enough exactly where you are. And again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. And if you're on Facebook right now, please go like Seasons of Her so we can go live on that platform as well. Till next time, bye.
Bye.